Welcome to COOP Radio 102.7 FM CFRO. This is Monday Brown Bagger. The date is May 25th, 2009. My name is Reginald Angus Argue. Before we introduce our guest, I would like to thank the 9/11 Truth Society here in Vancouver, Patrick, Roxana, and others who are part of this nonprofit organization, not only for organizing this interview I'm having with my upcoming guest, but also at the same time for organizing and coordinating a cross-Canada speaking tour for my guest. I mean, it's people like that we really need to stand up and give a gigantic, clap our hands together for it. And with that said, every once in a while in their life, that we'll come across people who will stand out like a diamond in the rough. I have a favorite saying I like to say every once in a while, and it goes, positive changes comes from those who stand in the middle of a political hurricane, all in efforts to protect others' basic rights and freedoms. And our guest is a perfect example of someone like that. And with that said, I'd like to now introduce Annie Machon, who is an ex-MI5 British agent. Hello, Annie.
Hello, hi.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. The first thing I'd like to ask you about is I'm someone that I believe that 9/11 was an inside job, even right after it happened. I'd have to say that. The reason why I said that is because when I was back in Alberta, back in March of 2000, when I wrote a fictional novel, I was told by a allegedly homeless lady that the organization I wrote about would win. And then what happens is that after that, I was hit on the sidewalk, cars driving from an old house, almost ran off the highway. February of 2001, I had a meeting set up with someone from Director's Choice, Hollywood North. And this meeting was with someone who claimed his name was Don. At the same time, he claimed to be ex-RCMP. And he turned around, he said that AIDS was man-made. He also said that at the same time that Canadian banking system was $150 million in the red. And what would happen is that if there was ever a run on the banks, our banks would collapse. And at the same time, he also said one last point to me. He said Canada was going to attack the United States. And I'm sitting there at this meeting, and this email sent from Director's Choice said, we have someone who's very much up on the subject you're speaking of because of the book. And I'm looking going, wait a minute, I wrote a fictional novel. What is this guy talking about? But right then and there, I knew there was something major going to come down real fast, but I didn't know what it was. And then right after September 11th, I looked at it, and I could not believe for a second. And right after that, my wife and I, we left Canada for almost 5 years of our life. Could you give the listening audience what your opinion is on 9/11? Because I view it as nothing more than burning of the Reichstag, which allowed the New American Century, the neocons, to bring in their, modern inquisitions against the people.
Yeah, very much so. My view would be that there is a mountain of evidence from very credible people, as well as millions of citizens who are concerned around the world, who are demanding a new independent inquiry, because the official version just does not add up. We've had one 9/11 commission, which was very prescribed in what it could actually investigate. In fact, a neocon was the executive director of that, a guy called Philip Zelikow, who was very close to Condoleezza Rice and the rest of them, and in fact co-authored a book with Rice. And he effectively set out the terms of what the commission could look at, in the sense of even putting the chapter headings and the subheadings and the sub-subheadings about what they were going to report before they'd even begun to investigate what might have happened. And as I said, there's a mountain of evidence from all sorts of people now that contradicts that rather bogus account. We're talking about a whole raft of political leaders across the world are calling for a new inquiry, up to and including Yukihisa Fujita, who is the head of the opposition in the Senate of Japan. Many other very senior politicians have got involved as well. Cynthia McKinney, of course, in the States. Michael Meacher in the UK, Andreas von Bülow, who is Defence Minister in Germany. So a whole range of different MPs and politicians have signed up for a new inquiry. We also have scholars for 9/11 Truth. We have pilots, architects and engineers who, many hundreds of them now, are disputing the fact that the three towers that came down on 9/11 at the World Trade Center could not have collapsed in the way that the Commission and NIST have reported. We have firefighters, lawyers, medical professionals, intelligence officers, whistleblowers, many people just saying, look at all these holes in the official account, and let's have a proper, independent, potentially international inquiry to get to the bottom of it. Precisely because you say as well, you look at how 9/11's been misused. It's been the basis for the war on terror. It's the basis for the illegal wars in the Middle East, and it's the basis for the shredding of our constitutions in our home countries. I come from Britain, and Britain is effectively a police state now. I mean, they've got so many laws in place that I recently moved out of the country to Germany, and I used to joke that I was doing it to escape the encroaching fascism of the UK state. I used to get a bit of a hollow laugh from my friends.